You ever seen or heard of Catholics doing or saying something and wondered, why do Catholics do that? Sometimes if you ask a Catholic, their answer will simply be, I don't know, we just do it. Or maybe even, well, Mom said so. So if you have a question about why Catholics do or say something, send it to us. Every week we'll try to answer a question. If it's a question that we can answer in 3 to 5 minutes, we'll include it in this segment. If it's too deep to answer in a few minutes, we'll deal with that in a full session. Remember, I'm somebody that wants to give you the history of the clock when you simply asked what time it is. So Jenny asked, why do Catholics use candles? Great question, Jenny. But you didn't say which candles. Let's see, there's the Easter or the Paschal candle. Then there's the processional candles that the altar servers carry, the tabernacle candle, baptismal candles, and votive candles. And oh yeah, there's the candles that we use at Advent for the Advent wreath. Okay, I see your point. We do use a lot of candles. So I'll try to explain what, why, and when we use these particular candles. But first, I'll try to answer your basic question. What a concept, right? But first, a little history. There's always a little history. The church is known for a lot of things, but being trendy, it's not. So let's go back 3,500 years ago to the time of Exodus. In Exodus chapter 27 and Leviticus chapter 24, the Hebrews were told to keep a candle burning continuously in the temple to remind them of the presence of God. Later, after the temple was destroyed, the Talmud instructed them to keep the candle lit next to where the scriptures are stored, again to indicate the presence of God, plus in reverence to the scriptures themselves. And this is why, incidentally, that we began the tradition of the tabernacle candle that's lit when the host is present in the tabernacle. Okay, so we use candles for the same reason, to remind us of God's presence. There you go. Thanks for asking. Oh, you wanted to know about all the other candles too, right? Well, pretty much for the same reason, just in a different context. So we'll start with the Easter or the Paschal candle. The big candle that you usually see next to the baptismal font is called the Easter candle. Every year at the Easter Vigil, the Saturday before Easter, a new candle is lit. As a matter of fact, it's lit from flames, and the flames are actually blessed at the Easter Vigil. Now, we will light that candle at every Mass from Easter Vigil until Pentecost Sunday. During the year, it's lit at all baptisms and funerals, both to remind us of the presence of the promise we receive at baptism. It's lit at funerals to remind us that the bonds of love that were created in this life are not broken by death. Then we have the altar processional candles that the altar servers carry. In the Gospel of John, right from the opening verses, we are told that Christ came to be the light of the world. So one candle reminds us of Christ being the light of the world. But why the second candle? The second candle is to remind us that we become the light of the world at baptism, that we were empowered to be the light of the world. Incidentally, that's also why the altar servers are wearing white. They are, in effect, putting on their baptismal gowns for us. Remember what I tell the kids. If you have a question about why we do something in particular at Mass, odds are you can say baptism, because your chances are pretty good to be right. By the way, at Easter Vigil, candidates and sponsor will also process in with smaller processional candles. Then we have the tabernacle candle itself. I mentioned the tabernacle candle earlier, but so just a reminder that whenever you see that candle is lit, you know that the host is present in the tabernacle. So again, it reminds us of the presence of God. Then we have the baptismal candles. At every baptism, whether it's an infant or an adult, the godparent or the sponsor will pass on to the newly baptized a baptismal candle. It symbolizes their role of passing on the light of faith to the candidates. Then there's the devotional or the votive candles. Sometimes if we have a particular prayer or petition, we will light a votive or devotional candle. This is to recognize that we are making these petitions through the light of faith. It's a symbol of our prayers rising up. It will usually remain lit even after we leave, just as a sign that We are still in prayer as we go about our day. Now, I realize that there are other candles, like the candles at Advent and the Advent wreath, but I think we'll cover those when we actually talk about Advent and Advent wreaths. So in the meantime, if you have a question about why Catholics do or say something, send it to us. Every week we'll try to answer a question. In the meantime, thanks for watching. My name is Dave, and I am not in charge.